Oh, nice.
Morning.
Morning.
It's Friday, not Friday. Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
Getting way ahead of myself.
God,
It's
that's
Monday. Woo!
Horrible thing to do to them.
May 13th, and it's a lovely day outside. And we're expecting highs today. Sunshine everywhere, and highs of about 18 or 19 again. It was a scorch yesterday. In fact, you probably can't see it here, but it's only last night I came home from training and I had a shower, and I was all red. I got sunburned yesterday.
Yeah, it was hot yesterday.
It was a lovely day yesterday.
You didn't spot my snap last night of I was in Castle Gregory yesterday.
No.
Oh, I'll show it to you there now. It was like the Caribbean.
Actually, but yeah, savage yesterday.
It was unreal. Yeah, I'll find it there for you now. Yeah, just the colour of the water is absolutely stunning. It was a gorgeous day. Yeah, so this week in the weather in general, pretty good.
I think it looks like it. Yeah, it looks like we get a decent enough week. Oh wow!
Yeah,
just, I don't know if you does look like a foreign country.
Yeah, it was really, really stunning. So yeah, all good news. We hope you guys had a great weekend. Andrew just told me I'm slightly hoarse.
Yeah,
so I did have a good weekend.
Whatever way you kind of said something to me there, you were just like,
yeah.
Later your voice is breaking finally.
Oh, I hope that happens. That would be cool. Right, some of the big stories in the papers today. Well, in the sports sections, as you would expect, a lot about Man City, a lot about Liverpool in the papers today, a lot about Championship GAA action yesterday as well. But front pages, vaccinate teens who missed MMR life-saving jab, says a top GP. Well, one of Ireland's leading doctors is now calling on the Health Minister to put resources in place to vaccinate teenagers or young adults who missed out on things like the MMR. So that's on the front page of the Irish Daily Mail this morning. Derry girls go glam at the BAFTAs. Lost out, I think, at the BAFTAs, as far as I know.
They didn't win, actually, yeah.
Yeah, there was a bit of a surprise. But I don't know the girls' names yet, actually. But the blondie girl, the main character, she's pictured on the front page. I'm sorry, I don't know her name. She's in the Irish Daily Mail at the BAFTAs last night as well.
Yeah, they're on the front page of the Examiner this morning. As well as rural internet deal is the worst ever. Private operator will own €3 billion asset despite paying just 200 million for it. Farm safety inspections half despite the dangers and all the radio and television advertising that they see as well. And the average rent is now at a record high of €1,366 per month, which is quite shocking. That's also in the Irish Examiner there this morning.
Lovely photograph on the Irish Times front page of some fox cubs ready to face the world as they took their first steps. It's a photo taken in County Wicklow over the weekend. I was on a pet farm yesterday, Andy.
I did see that.
Yeah. I was in Sandy Feet Farm. It's fab. And they've alpacas there. Do you know the llamas? No, I don't know the difference between llamas and alpacas. These are alpacas.
You don't know
apparently.
The difference? Oh, I'm actually mortified for you.
But one of the young guys working there, and the people working there are great, they're full of knowledge, although you could tell me anything and I'd believe it, I suppose. He said that the alpacas keep the sheep, the lambs, safe from foxes.
Oh.
Yeah, so foxes come in, they get aggressive with them, the alpacas spit at the foxes, and if they keep coming back, they'll trample on them.
I didn't know that.
How cool is that? Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Now, Irish Times, and I like foxes, nothing against them, but I just like that. That's nature.
No,
nice
you
nature.
Don't, you're vicious.
Irish Times front page as well. Support for Nigel Farage's Brexit party increases pressure on Prime Minister is the story. Brexit, it's been off the front pages for a little while. It's back today. Theresa May now under mounting pressure to resign as opinion polls point to a meltdown for Conservatives in the European Parliament elections, which of course are happening the same day as ours are on the 23rd of May. And councils to vote on affordable housing scheme is another headline in the Times today. Dubliners who had to leave the capital because of high rents face discrimination under a new affordable housing scheme for low and middle income workers, says the Irish Times. I don't understand that whole thing. I mean, we live in Kerry, okay, and like people would say to you sometimes, I'm sure you guys get this too, if you're living somewhere rural in Ireland, you know, would you like to live in Dublin? Because like I lived in Dublin before, you've obviously lived in Cork, and like one of your answers would nearly always be, and it's amongst my friends as well, you'd have to have the right job to move to Dublin.
Yeah.
Do you know, you'd have to have a job that pays high enough that you could live comfortably in Dublin.
Yeah.
But there's this sort of sense of entitlement with a lot of people that they should be just allowed to live in Dublin and afford a house in Dublin. But like the reality of it is, I think that a lot of people living in rural Ireland realise that, but it's like people living in Dublin haven't realised it yet.
Yeah.
But like it does cost different amounts of money to live in different parts of Ireland.
Yeah.
It's like, wake up. Do you know, if you can't afford to live in Dublin, maybe, like, who was that musician who moved to flipping Germany or somewhere because he couldn't afford to rent a house in Dublin? David Kitt or someone, was it?
Was it? I don't know.
Anyway, and he couldn't afford to rent in Dublin, so he took himself off to Berlin or something. Well, like, he could have taken himself off to Longford.
Yeah.
And still lived in Ireland, and he was moaning about the fact that he had to leave his home and leave the shores of Ireland.
Yeah, he didn't have to leave the shores
of Ireland.
No,
he probably could have afforded a house in Monaghan.
Yeah.
Sorry,
And it's
Monaghan.
not
Sorry,
that far.
Monaghan and Longford. I've
Yeah,
chosen
but
ye.
No, but they're not that far from
Yeah,
Dublin either, so.
it does annoy me a bit. Like, obviously, I think the rental and housing market in Dublin is ridiculous. Like, it's dysfunctional, it's silly, but at the same time, like, people need to get realistic about what they can afford, you know. Anyway, that was a rant. I promise not to have one of those on the show today.
The Times Ireland edition this morning says Lord Mayor linked to energy firms' false claims, doubts raised over stake in hydropower plants, and again, same story. Supply of homes for rent falls to a record low. That's in the Times Ireland edition there as well.
Some of the top trends: Game of Thrones is trending last. Game of Thrones has aired, so avoid the internet today if you want to avoid any spoilers. We won't be giving spoilers on the show. Cardiff City relegated yesterday. They still did manage to beat Man United 2-0.
Yeah, they were relegated a couple of weeks back. That's why it was so shocking yesterday that they had nothing to play for and still beat United 2-0. It was awful, yeah.
And I like that if you live in the States today, you might know that it's Leprechaun Day with Andrew, and I just found out.
Yeah, I don't know what Leprechaun Day is in the States, but they celebrate leprechauns. And Begara and all the Irish, ha ha, top of the morning, and pot of gold and all of that, carry on. How are you doing? We don't actually talk like that. And spoiler alert, leprechauns don't exist.
What?
What?
Stop. It's 5 days till the Eurovision as well, so we're going to be playing some Eurovision music on the show this week. Maybe.
Yeah. We probably should play Sarah McTurnan's song as well, 22. She's out. Sarah.
Oh, sorry, I thought you called her Sarah. I was like, have I got that wrong now as well?
She is on Thursday's semi-final, so the second semi-final of this week.
Okay.
She's on number 2.
She's on number 2.
This morning. Yeah.
Okay, that's about it from us. Did you have a nice weekend, Andy?
I did, yeah. I did, while you were having a brilliant weekend with your beautiful daughter on a milestone in her life.
Yeah.
Celebrating her communion.
You were cutting the lawn?
No, well, yes, I was.
Okay.
But I also went to Woody's and bought a clothesline.
Cool. I need a new clothesline as well, so cool. That's me next weekend. We had a great weekend for the communion. It was fabulous.
Yeah,
and it was just beautiful. It was a fabulous
good crack
weekend.
though.
Ah, lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely. Yeah, lots of family around, and it was fun.
Good.
It was good.
She had a good day.
Yeah, she's spoiled rotten. Yeah.
Right.
She's a great girl.
Enjoy your Monday. We'll have a proper chat on the radio in a few minutes. So, yeah, good luck. Enjoy.
Okay, bye.
Lieto.